gosh, did you see that?
No way, he actually did it.
It is a violent, miniature explosion. A thermodynamic event where a hard, inedible seed transforms into a cloud of edible foam. It is the sound of the cinema, the smell of the carnival, and the favorite snack of a nation. Popcorn, Z. Mays Everta. It is the only variety of corn in the entire botanical kingdom capable of this trick. Americans consume 15 billion quarts of it every year. But the gourmet popcorn you buy in the foil bag, coated in artisan cheese or dipped in dark chocolate, is not the same as the stuff you microwave. The journey of the gourmet kernel is a high-stakes agricultural gamble. It requires a specific genetic pedigree, a harvest that treats the corn like glass, and a manufacturing process that balances heat, pressure, and moisture with the precision of a chemistry lab. How do you breed a corn kernel that pops into a perfect sphere for coating? How do you harvest millions of pounds of grain without scratching the microscopic outer shell? And how do you turn a bin of raw corn into a savory, shelf-stable luxury snack? From the stalk to the snacker, this is the mega process of gourmet popcorn. Our story begins in the heart of the American Corn Belt. While millions of acres here are dedicated to field corn for livestock and sweet corn for the dinner table, a select few thousand acres are reserved for something special. This is Z. Mays Everta, popcorn. To the untrained eye, it looks like any other corn, but biologically it is unique. The secret lies in the hull or the pericarp. In sweet corn, the hull is porous. In popcorn, the pericarp is a sealed, high-tensile pressure vessel. It is designed by nature to hold steam until the critical failure point. For the gourmet market, genetics are everything. Farmers plant specific hybrids bred for shape. There are two main types. The butterfly kernel, which pops into irregular wings, perfect for holding butter and salt, and the mushroom kernel, which pops into a dense, round ball. Gourmet factories demand mushroom corn. Its spherical surface area is robust enough to withstand the weight of heavy caramel or cheese coatings without crumbling into dust. The growing season is a 4-month battle against nature. The stalks must be pollinated perfectly. If the silk at the top of the ear doesn't catch pollen, kernels will be missing. But the biggest threat is the European corn borer. This pest bores into the stalk, weakening it. If the corn falls over, known as lodging, the harvester cannot pick it up. The ears must remain high and dry. Unlike sweet corn, which is harvested wet and sugary, popcorn must dry on the stalk. We wait for the black layer. This is a microscopic seal that forms at the base of the kernel, cutting off nutrients from the plant. The corn begins to die and dry out. The farmer tests the moisture daily. He is looking for a specific number, 16%. Harvest day. This is where popcorn farming diverges from all other agriculture. When harvesting field corn for cattle feed, speed is key. If the kernels get scratched or cracked, it doesn't matter. But for popcorn, a scratch is fatal. If the pericarp is scratched, the pressurized steam will leak out during cooking. The corn will not pop. It becomes an old maid, a dental-destroying dud. Therefore, the harvest must be incredibly gentle. The combines are modified. The cylinder speed is reduced to minimize impact. Rubber distinct plates are often used to cushion the blow as the kernels are stripped from the cob. The goal is zero stress cracks. The kernels are offloaded into trucks and rushed to the processing plant's intake facility. They are not dumped into a pit. They are gently conveyed. Every truckload is probed. The QA lab performs a blue dye test. They soak a sample in blue dye. If there are any microscopic cracks in the hull, the dye penetrates, turning the crack blue. If the percentage of blue cracks is too high, the entire truckload, 50,000 pounds of corn, is rejected and sold as birdseed. The accepted corn enters the conditioning bins. This is the most crucial step in the logistics chain. The corn comes in at varying moisture levels. It must be homogenized. Massive fans push ambient air through the grain pile. This creates an equilibrium. The target moisture content for the perfect pop is exactly 13.5% to 14%. If the moisture is 12%, the steam pressure won't be high enough to explode the starch. If it's 16%, the popcorn will be chewy and tough. The pop volume, how big the kernel gets, is entirely dependent on this water content. The corn may sit in these bins for months, monitored by computer sensors until it stabilizes. Before it can be popped, it must be cleaned. The cleaning house is a deafening maze of vibrating screens. First, the destoner. Using a fluidized bed of air, the machine floats the corn while heavier field stones and mud balls sink to the bottom. Then the optical sorter, high speed. Cameras analyze every single kernel in freefall. If a kernel is discolored, black, or shaped wrong, a precise jet of compressed air shoots it out of the stream. Only the pristine, orange-gold kernels survive. The raw material is now ready. It is packed into massive super sacks and moved to the popping plant. The farm work is done. Now physics takes over. We enter the popping room. This facility produces 50,000 pounds of finished popcorn a day. The raw corn is lifted via bucket elevators to the popper deck. There are two ways to pop corn. For movie theater style, we use wet popping, oil and corn in a kettle. But for gourmet-coated popcorn, we use dry air popping. The kernels enter a rotating drum. A jet of air, superheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, blasts through the tumbling grain. Inside the kernel, the water turns to superheated steam. It turns the hard starch into a gelatinous goop. The pressure builds to 135 pounds per square inch. The pericarp holds, until it fails. Bang, the hull shatters. The steam expands the starch to 40 times its original size. Because it is an air popper, the result is a dry, pure white flake with no oil. This is the perfect blank canvas for flavoring. The popped corn cascades into a sifter. This is a rotating drum with holes sized exactly for a popped kernel. The old maids, the unpopped kernels, fall through the mesh and are collected for animal feed. Only the fully expanded, fluffy flakes move forward. We now have a mountain of white clouds. It's time to dress them. For the classic caramel corn, we move to the kitchen. This is old-school confectionery science. Ingredients are loaded into 50-gallon copper kettles: brown sugar, corn syrup, butter, and salt. The mix is boiled to the hard crack stage, around 300 degrees Fahrenheit. This drives off all the water. If there is water left, the popcorn will get soggy. The hot caramel is pumped into a coating drum. The popcorn tumbles gently. The viscous liquid is sprayed or poured over the corn. The tumbling action ensures every single kernel is enrobed in a thin, glass-like shell of sugar. But it's sticky. If we stopped now, it would be a giant brick. The caramel corn falls onto a cooling belt. Ambient air chills the sugar, hardening it instantly. At the end of the line, a breaker, a wheel with gentle rubber fingers, separates the kernels before the caramel fully sets. The result is individual, crunchy gems. On line 2, we are making cheddar cheese popcorn. You cannot just sprinkle cheese powder on dry popcorn. It will fall off. You need a slurry. In a high-shear mixer, oil is blended with micronized cheese powder, salt, and spices. This creates a suspension called a slurry. The popcorn enters a rotating drum. Spray nozzles atomize the cheese slurry, misting the tumbling corn. The oil carries the flavor and adheres to the nooks and crannies of the butterfly or mushroom flake. The result is a savory coating that is dry to the touch but packed with flavor. For the ultra-premium tier, we use the enrober. Caramel corn passes through a curtain of tempered dark chocolate. A blower removes the excess chocolate, leaving a thin, decadent layer. These clusters then travel through a 50-foot cooling tunnel to snap freeze the chocolate coating. The finished product is extremely sensitive to humidity. It must be packaged immediately. It travels to the multi-head weigher. 14 separate buckets weigh the corn. The computer calculates which combination of buckets equals exactly 12 ounces and drops them simultaneously. The corn falls into the bagger. A roll of metallized film is formed into a tube. The bottom is sealed. The corn drops in. Just before the top seal is clamped, a nozzle injects a blast of nitrogen gas. This is crucial. Oxygen causes the oil to go rancid and the caramel to become sticky. The nitrogen flush displaces the oxygen, creating an inert atmosphere that keeps the popcorn fresh for up to a year. Safety is the final step. Every bag passes through a metal detector and an X-ray machine to ensure no machinery parts or field stones have made it into the package. Robotic arms pack the bags into cases. They are palletized, stretch-wrapped, and moved to the distribution warehouse. It is a process that turns a rock-hard seed into a cloud of flavor. From the genetic selection in the fields of Nebraska to the precise thermodynamics of the air popper, gourmet popcorn is a testament to American agricultural ingenuity. It creates value from volume, transforming a simple grain into a luxury treat enjoyed around the world. Inside the corn plant, the pressure builds, and the harvest explodes into something extraordinary.